I'm gonna tell you right now, this right here, there are multiple content creators in the category that just got absolutely fisted with that. Because I mean, like, how many content creators, guys, do you only really watch during Node Wars? Right? That's rough. Okay, guys, let's do the global lab patch note rundown for the week. Let's take a look at this. There is no BDO Foundry translation, so I'm going to do my best with it, guys. I do not speak Korean, but I do generally understand, like, what certain words are, because I've been reading this for, like, 6 years. Okay, Black Desert Performance System has been expanded. This is the contents. What is this? With the first expansion today in the Black Desert Global Labs, all classes, including the classes of Adventure or Love, can play musical instruments. What's happening? That's fucking awesome. Wait, that's amazing. Wait, we're all gonna get to play music now? Wait, that's amazing. Oh my god, I can have my Dark Knight and a heavy metal band? I'm huge. I'm huge. Oh my god, we can do like KDA. We can do KDA for BDO, boys. We're massive. Now we just need the outfits. Here are the 5 instruments that have been added with richer tones. Okay, so Florchestra horn. There's an electric guitar. I was actually meaning about the electric guitar, but like, okay, this is a W. The clarinet, yeah, nobody cares. Yeah, the electric guitar goes kind of hard, guys. The DKs with the electric guitar, the goth mommy. Actually, let's be honest, it's the Guardian, like goth mommy with the electric. Actually, the Guardian might be on the drums. The Guardian's in the back with like the hair going hard on the drums, bro. Yo, be huge, bro. That'd be huge. The Marnian was provided in various forms. The electric guitar was provided. Okay, so there's different sound effects and stuff as well. Okay, this is really basic. I wish that they would. Okay, amazing. They added that there's musical instruments for everybody, but let's be honest. This is basic AF. We need better outfits for this. I want theming. I want my character to be jamming. This is not it. Okay, I don't want some 40-year-old soccer dad shorts with some like casual, like we're sitting around a bonfire at summer camp vibe. Like, no. Get out. Did you play on the Korean server? No, I don't play on the Korean server. I'm American, so I'm not really allowed to. Okay. So they're gonna allow us to play other instruments. That's fun. There's a clarinet. It looks like a baritone horn. A letter ride from Marnie. Okay, yeah, so there's an electric guitar. I think the electric guitar looks really cool. I love the design on it. Looks great. I just wish that it was they need to have like jamming. You know what I mean? There needs to be jamming. There's it's a French horn. I wasn't in band, bro. I said, like, my mom explained it to me like this, okay? It was like, hey, you can take like wood shop classes, ceramics, like art and sewing and make rockets, or you can play an instrument. And I was like, I want to make a rocket. You know what I mean? Like, she knew what she was doing. Let's be honest. As an adult, she was like, I don't want to pay for him to play a musical instrument that he's just not going to play for the rest of his life. So I'm just going to sell it to him. Like, the other stuff is way cooler, and he'll make the decision on his own. My mom was way too good at manipulating me, but also she made the correct decision. She knew that she knew. Smart woman. Smart woman. Work like a charm. Yeah. She's a smart woman. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay, so this is just a bunch of instrument stuff. That looks cool. All right, sweet. Blackstone's second simplification. The second simplification of Blackstone following improvements on the first one was also done. Okay, so what are we doing here? Okay, so they're just... This is the follow-up change for Blackstone simplification. They're changing everything in the game so that it only has one type of Blackstone. Okay, sure. Monster Knowledge. Okay, so a method to obtain Garmoth Knowledge has been added if you do not have Garmoth Knowledge or deleted it. Okay, so if you last hit Garmoth, you have a chance to get the knowledge, and it'll look like this from like the treasure chest. Okay, makes sense. Some main quest line improvements. Fun. When completing the Ataraxi in main quest, a main quest completion alarm has been improved to be displayed. Okay, that's cool. We like that. Honestly, I like the little ting sound when you finish a region in BDO. It makes like a little ting sound. It's like you finished exploring Serendia. It's very satisfying. Should be more stuff like that in the game. The Delananaru Ferry Keeper has been moved to accommodate adventurers disembarking from the ship. Okay, yeah, that's the ferry guy that, like, if you get lost in the ocean. Conquest Base War. I did hear about there's some node war changes here. I do want to see what exactly that they're doing. My guess is that these are like the node war changes that Jay had talked about with the whiteboard from the developer meeting a few months ago here. Black Desert's guild PvP content, which undergoes major and small changes every year, is getting a new look this year as well. We're preparing so that more guilds can participate, have the opportunity to occupy bases, and allow for more intense battles. That's exactly what this is. At the same time, we plan to come to adventurers with a new look that reduces the burden of preparing and progressing in the game. Among the various changes to the new base war, the base war progress time will be changed from 2 hours to 1 hour. Oh, God, I'm gonna tell you right now, this right here. There are multiple content creators in the category that just got absolutely fisted. With that, because I mean, like, how many content creators, guys, do you only really watch during Node Wars, right? That's rough, you know what I mean? Plus, I also know a lot of people that only log in for Node Wars. Like, there are quite a significant amount of players that really only log in for Node Wars, and now they will be logged in for half the time. So I do not like that. I think an hour and a half would have been fine. Reducing it to an hour maximum. Keep in mind, guys, this is the maximum length of the Node War. The minimum length of the Node War is 20 minutes to an hour. It's like, you could just be done. Like one elixir rotation, basically. Or 2 elixir rotations, and boom, you're done. This change will progress. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't want to be doom and gloom about it, guys, but I'll be honest with you. On paper, I don't really like that change very much. I think that reducing it to an hour and a half would have been fine. I think reducing it to an hour is kind of rough, but we'll see. This change is in progress with time to apply. Yeah, it's going to be introduced with the revamped base war. Yeah, so the revamped node war. So yeah, these are the new node war changes. After the base war ends, the duration the guild league content will be expanded so that you can continue to work with your guild members to accommodate. So there's going to be more guild league content since node wars is shorter. I only watch you and Choice. Well, both of us do Node War content, right? Node War and Siege content. Now I diversify my content. So I'll be honest with you. This doesn't really have a too big of an impact on my content, guys. Because, like, I've already been trying to get away from it because I knew that this change was coming. I knew these Node War changes were coming. So, like, my content, you guys have probably realized I have not done very much Node War or Siege content or VOD review content in the last few months or so. It's because I'm kind of trending away from that because I know that this is going to happen. VOD reviews are going to vaporize. Like, why would you do VOD reviews? They're 20 minutes long. Like, you're better off reviewing, like, Guild League VOD reviews. You know what I mean? Like, so I can transition. There's a couple things that, like, I can transition to. But as far as, like, doing Node Wars and Siege, I'll still do it. But, like, and it doesn't affect me very much, but people like Huntler, yeah, it affects them a lot. You know what I mean? We'll see. A new overhaul of the base and Node War system is being prepared. The duration, in preparation for this, we've reduced the Node War duration. Yeah, so it's 1 hour now. Yeah, so this is all in preparation for the new Guild War Node War system. If this is the very first time...
Muted just resubscribed for 2 months.
Muted, welcome back for 2 months, man. I really appreciate you coming back to support me, man. If this is the first time you're hearing about the new Node War system, guys, let me explain it to you very briefly. Essentially, there's going to be one big Node War zone. There's like 3 big Node War zones per region per day or something. and your guild can like register for these node wars. Okay, and essentially it will all be one big zone, but like the zone will be divvied up into like 8 segments. Okay, so I apologize. It looks kind of like a soccer ball, but you catch my drift, right? Okay, so there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Technically, that is 7, and then there's supposed to be 8, I think. So 8 guilds can participate at a time. Basically, all of the guilds are dropped in, and essentially your fort is like out here. Your fort cannot be attacked. You do not have a defense. You don't have cannons. There is no flex. There are no elephants. Essentially, you fight for control of these zones. At the 20-minute mark, the zone 1 closes. Okay, so at the 20-minute mark, whoever last hits zone 1 at the 20-minute mark, that guild is out. Okay, that guild is out. And then at the 40-minute mark, there's another guild is out. The guild that last hits it claims that node and is out of the node war, and then the rest of the guilds keep fighting, and then 3, and then another guild is out, and then 4, and then another guild is out, and 5, and so on. Okay, until everybody has a node and you're at the end. Personally, I think that this is a terrible idea for node wars, mainly because there's a lot of strategy that goes into node war, and that's what a lot of people I think like about node wars so much, is that there's like an objective to fight for, and even if you are a weaker guild, you can still win in a lot of cases. In this kind of a node war setting, it doesn't matter what the strategy is. You're basically just RBFing with the other guilds, and that kind of sucks to me. Do you think it will limit politics? No, politics are always going to happen, and that's the problem. So like what Jay thinks that this is going to do is he thinks that it is going to limit politics so that smaller guilds can like get nodes and like participate in node wars. Really what's going to happen is this. Okay, so you have your big node and it's divided into the sections, yeah? And like every single section is roped off, and there's no more team fights. So what Cho Nation will do is Cho Nation will drop, and they will farm you for 20 minutes. And then one guild will get to not be farmed anymore. And then Cho Nation will farm the other 7 guilds for the next 20 minutes. And then one will go away. And then they'll farm the next 6 guilds for the next 20 minutes. And then they'll go away. Or guilds will coordinate so that guilds are knocked out. I almost guarantee what's going to happen is guilds will absolutely coordinate fights so that certain guilds are knocked out at certain times, and certain guilds take certain nodes at certain times so that guilds can fight each other reasonably. There will always be politics. The problem with KR, the problem with Korea is their top 3 guilds. So in North America, our top 3 guilds are Cho Nation, Digital, and Corrupt, in that order. Okay, Korea has 3 similar guilds, except the difference between our region and Korea is our top 3 guilds aren't shitbags. In Korea, the top 3 guilds all like each other, and they all circle jerk for like the top nodes. So what they will do is they will all drop together on nodes to intentionally zerg every other guild off the node, and then circle jerk and just hand each other the nodes so that no one else can participate in the node war. Or have fun in node wars. So this is what they have, and essentially what KR has done is they have killed their own node war scene. So like there is no one. There are maybe 4 or 5 total guilds in KR that node war at this point, because of this, because of exactly this. But in North America, yes, we have the benefit of these 3 guilds all hating each other. So, because Cho Nation, Digital, and Corrupt all hate each other, they're not going to work together to zerg other guilds off the node, right? Like, they're going to work against each other in basically every single case. And even when they don't, like, yes, do we have situations where Cho, Digi, and Corrupt drop on nodes to crash fights? Absolutely, that happens. But it's few and far between compared to what happens on KR and some of the other servers. So, like, we are fortunate in NA to have some reasonable guild leaderships in the top 3. Part of the reason these guild leagues or these node war changes are being pushed through are because KR's they call it the cartel. So They have politics in KR, and then they call it the cartel, like roughly translated. And again, I know this because we speak about it on the Node War, like the United Nations podcast, which will have another meeting soon, because of now that I'm seeing these changes here. But we're getting this because of KR, and I think that it's a bad change. But the reason that I think that this is a bad change is not because of the politics at all. I think that, does it limit politics and like the prep work that guilds have to do? Sure, absolutely. But here's another thing that you need to consider. In any node work guild, there are multiple subsets of people. Okay. In any node work guild, there are multiple subsets of people. Let's be honest, guys. Most of the people that do some of our other stuff, they're not like necessarily the most mechanically gifted players in the entire world, and that is totally fine. They want to help contribute to the node war. They want to help contribute to the guild in a meaningful way, and being really smart on defense, or like being able to communicate with a microphone and rebuild structures, place flags, fire cannons, run an elephant effectively, run a flex, so doing anti-cannon, anti-flag work, or hitting the enemy base like that, or even if you're just like, you know, the standard player in the offense ball, there's different roles for everyone, so like everybody has a place, right? So essentially what these node war changes do is they eliminate flex, defense, cannons, and the elephant. Everyone is in offense. What do you think that this is going to do to node war guilds? What do you think this is going to do to siege guilds? Those players that used to have like a place in the guild, they don't get to be in the guild anymore because you're just not good enough, right? Like it comes down to like, how mechanically gifted are you? There's no other rhyme or reason. There's no strategy involved, right? Like it's just, those people just don't get to participate in PvP guilds anymore as effectively, you know what I mean? And I think that that's a huge problem. Like, I've been in a lot of guilds. I've been in T1 guilds. I've been in T2 guilds. I've been in T3, T4, T5. I've been in a top 2 siege guild. You know, like, I've been in everything in the middle, all the way at the bottom, and all the way at the top. And I can tell you there are people in every guild that fit those other categories, but, like, they're not going to want to do offense. Right? Like, or they can't do offense for one reason or another. And I think that these changes are just bad because they don't accommodate those players, and now you can't play with those people anymore. That's my take on it, guys. That's my big reservation with it. I also feel that it removes a lot of the strategy with the node war. So like people like the shot caller, like myself, I know this is really selfish, aren't going to have as much fun. I like playing chess with my opponent. You guys watch me do node wars. You guys like to watch me shot call in node wars, tempo, flags, where to put a cannon, what guild to hit, all that stuff. Like, I love figuring that stuff out, and I think that a lot of people love like that kind of strategy. Like, oh, we're gonna do a big horse wrap right now, or oh, we're gonna try to hit him from this side, or whatever. All of that is gone. It is just engage the enemy offense ball, and that is it. There's no flags, there's no Ellie's, there's no cannons, none of that. You don't have to play around anything. It is literally just offense ball slamming into offense ball on repeat until one of you happens to claim the node, and then you're done, and then you move on. And like, that kind of kills. Yeah, it kind of kills node war and siege for me. I'm not gonna lie. Well, it kills node wars for me. Siege should still be the same. Also, I think that this also has a problem that the developers haven't thought out yet. So if you make node wars like this, and then you have siege, so you're gonna take a player, okay, that's never done siege before, and like their only experience is this type of like 1 hour node war where you're just like RBFing, and then you're just gonna toss those guilds, those players into siege where there's walls to worry about, recovery centers, flame towers, watches, flags, cannons, elephants. The gap between the major siege guilds and like the normal node war guilds will be massive, like catastrophically big. Like right now it's already like kind of big, but like now it's going to be catastrophically big because no other guild is going to get enough time to practice Like normally in Node Wars, you practice this as like a shot caller, as like a leadership core. You're practicing your back-end comms, right? There's no need for back-end comms. There's no need for team speak. There's no need for any of this like communication between squads. There's no need for this diversification. There's no need for any of this stuff. Cannons, LEs, none of this. But like the major siege guilds already understand this stuff, so when they go to siege, it's just business as usual. But for any other like normal Node War guild, they have no idea what any of this stuff does. They're just being dropped into this environment. They don't know what a recovery center does. They have no idea what a supply depot does. There is no supply depot in Node Wars anymore. Like, guys, just understand that. Like, wrap your head around this. Okay, like there's no well, there might be a supply depot to repair your gear, but like there's no need to get your horses. Like the tempo for flags is like completely different. They're like, what's a flag factory? You know what I mean? Like they're not going to know any of this stuff. It's going to be so much harder for a guild to get into siege. Is another side effect that I see as a problem with this Node War system. Anyway, these are my thoughts on it. This is the start of the Node War changes. Essentially, they've shortened it to 1 hour, but there's no other big Node War changes yet on the global labs. Yeah, don't worry, siege is next. Oh, I'm sure that it is because they're going to add the dragons soon. Do you know all this is missing? Have you played it? Oh, they said that. I'm just going off based off what they said. They said they're removing all that stuff and like this is what it's going to be. Go watch the thing. I reacted to it.
Clara just resubscribed for 4 months.
A dragon equals Divius. Okay, all right. Vehicle. What is this? So this is like mounts. In addition to the changes of increasing the generation of wild horses, the horses of the 6th generation, tier 6 or more, when breeding, several improvements are made, such as the improvement to acquire sprint skills with 100% proficiency. Oh, after today's update, all horses will learn the sprint skill by default. Through this change, you can expect to affect the accelerated growth rate of horses. Wow. Okay, that's actually a really massive change. Okay. Whenever you catch a wild horse now, guys, and all horses in the game will all have sprint, it looks like learned at 100% as a default skill, guaranteed every time. That means that getting coursers will be really, really easy now. Or like, well, not really easy, but like easier. Because, and especially since if you catch a T6, I think you only need like sprint and charge. I'm pretty sure those are the only 2 skills that you need to make it a courser. So it really only needs to learn charge. And then you're like, boom, you're up here. It's like 150 mil. Horse training is massive, guys. Guys, go catch tier 6 horses. That's crazy. If you're AFK horse training overnight with tier 6 horses, when this change comes through and all of those tier 6s automatically have sprint, it makes them so easy to turn into coursers. That is absolutely a crazy change. Also, it's a crazy good, it's a quality of life change. I understand why they're doing it. It basically brings the speed of all the horses in the game up. Absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Later, Sarah Claire. That's awesome. Even when using a vehicle growth item reset, the sprint skill is maintained. So yeah, if you reset the growth on your horse, the sprint skill will still be added. Okay, that's cool. When updating on the official server, the following will be reflected. The sprint skill will be added to all horses that do not already have the sprint skill. Okay, so all of your horses that don't have sprint are going to get sprinted 100%, guys. Accordingly, all the horses registered in the central market and the breeding will now be deregistered. Ooh, that's a big deal. Okay, so guys, if you're looking for a horse, just be on when this change goes live. You just be online and then just start sniping horses because everyone's gonna have to re-register their horses and stuff. The issue where movement was not smooth near Baremi Island was automatic. Okay, so just some movement changes. Okay, yeah, so the checkbox change. Okay, so monster hunting UI has been improved so that you can check the location of Dehkia's lantern use. Oh, thank goodness, dude. I was trying to make guides. Like, you guys know I'm doing like my grind zone guide series. Like, I was looking at how to do the Dehkia ones. I'm like, dude, I have to go figure out where all the Dehkia spots are, man. This is ridiculous. It's like trying to find the Dehkia spots are like extremely difficult. I don't know how this fucking helps for the desert. Like, what is... Bro, it's in Akhman, man. Like, what? It's just a dot in the middle of the desert. You're like, well, I can't get in there because that's in the middle of the temple. All right. It wasn't exactly thought through. When completing a quest or talking to multiple characters, option is displayed near the character, allowing for more immersive progress. This will be especially helpful for adventurers who play in wide resolution environment. Oh, widescreen gamer update. This is an improvement to ensure that choices and dialogue phrases are displayed from the character instead of appearing at the end screen, so that you do not have to distract attention to impair immersion. Immersion. Okay, so they're moving like the Quest UI thing over a little bit. Yeah, it's no longer... It used to be like right here. Now they're moving it over there. Black Spirit Guide has been improved so new and returning adventurers can proceed smoothly with the main quest. Sure. Item recovery and notice has been added in the description at the bottom of the edit tab. That items older than 30 days will be displayed in the list. Okay. Or system cloak hiding function. Oh. When activating the cloak hiding function, this is the hide cape. The cloak has been improved to be visible to other adventurers nearby after a certain period of time. Interesting. I wonder why they chose to do that. In order to check the appearance of other adventurers who have activated the hide cape function, improvements have been made so that you do not have to move to another location and then return. Okay, so they're just making the hide cape feature better so that we can play BDO fashion better. Some changes and fixes for the classes, just some issue fixes, like some bug fixes. Okay, yeah, so we're starting to get the node war changes, guys. That's the big thing here. And then the sprint feature has been added to all the horses. Those are the two big ones.